Yes, sir. Good evening, all of you. So, hope you are all revising. I sent on paper also. Kindly do that paper. You even read from the answer key, but read very properly. Try to understand what is the content. In case if it is an example, try to keep in mind what is the example you are learning. So, I'll be sending multiple paper like this. Do all the paper, even PYQ. Already we discussed some 5-6 PYQs, and I will give PYQ of 20 to 2024, 2025. So even read PYQ also. Along with solutions I will send. If possible, try to find out from textbook or notes, or from the answer key, you try to find it out. So now I'll go to unit 1 and 2. I'll try to give some of the important content to keep in mind and revise. From the lesson, the very first lesson, living world. First, try to understand what should be the definition for life. For some content, I'll put question mark. You learn from textbook. I'll send this paper later on after the session. For some, I will give example immediately. What should be the property of life? There are many properties are there, like growth, reproduction, cellular organization, then metabolism, consciousness, like that. So among this, what are all the factors can define a living organism? Means cellular organization and consciousness. Even we can say metabolism can also be a defining property, but sometimes metabolism can even occur at cell-free system also. That means outside the body also metabolism can occur. So first of all, try to remember cellular organization and consciousness are the two primary defining property of an organism. Among this consciousness, we as human beings have self-consciousness. So this should be the very first content. We can expect one question from this lesson. Then, what is the species diversity in our earth? Actually, in this lesson, we'll be saying 1.7 to 1.8 million. But mostly, this question will come from the last lesson, biodiversity and conservation, where we say 1.5 million species as per 2004 IUCN data. Expansion, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resource. This will not be there, only IUCN. We have to remember the expansion. Then, what is called systematics? Just try to learn the definition for this. And what was the book written by Carolus Linnaeus? The book, what he wrote is Systema Naturae. In this book only, he gave his binomial nomenclature. Then what should be the basic property of taxonomy? That nothing but how to do taxonomy of unknown. First of all, we have to well study the organism, nothing but characterization. Characterization. We should thoroughly study whether the plant or animal, whatever given, we should thoroughly study this external, internal morphology like that. From where the organism belongs to. Based on some character, we can able to give name. Then after doing the characterization, we have to do a process called identification. Where exactly we can keep this organism. Then we have to do further classification. Nothing but to which category or taxa it belongs to. Which category or taxa we are finding out at the step called classification. Then we are giving a scientific name for it called nomenclature. This is nothing but naming the organism. So while doing nomenclature for plants, the nomenclature is given by ICBN expansion, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. This is related to plant, and ICZN. This is International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. So through ICZN, we name all the animals. Zoo means animal, right? Whereas through ICBN, we name all the plant. Then, when giving the binomial nomenclature, what is the procedure? This recently we discussed in a paper also. All the name should be given in Latin or at least Latinized. Latin or Latinized. And the name should be written in. I guess some of you even asked, what is this? Written in italics. If it is printed, it will be given in italics. If it is handwritten, the scientific name is handwritten, then two separate underline will be given. For genus name, one underline, and species name, one underline. And first letter, for example, scientific name of man is Homo sapiens. First letter will be in capital, and there is a space. Then we write sapiens. Species name will have small letter, and we have to give two separate underline. We should not put one common underline together. Then, in case, if we know who has given this name, the author who has given the name, the author name should be written at the end of the name. For example, even for humans, I can write Lin, because Linnaeus is the one coined the term. Book example is about a mango, Mangifera indica. Again, genus name, species name, two underline, capital M, small I. Even this word also given by Linnaeus. So remember how to write a scientific name, what language. Even there are some names given in our local language, but it will be in Latinized form. Then what is the hierarchy of classification? Hierarchy. Nothing but arranging a organism in its systematic position. Kingdom occupies the highest role. Phylum is the next lowest taxa. In the case of plant, we use a word called division. Then class, order, family, genus, and species. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. This is from high to low or low to high: species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, and kingdom. If we use the term phylum, that means we are talking about animal. If we use the term division, that means we talk about a plant. And there are some examples of various scientific names given. Try to learn it from textbook. There will be a tabular column, and just have a read. What is called class? What is called a species? How the kingdom is selected. So whatever the question mark I left here, arrow marks I left here, learn from textbook. And even there will be a big tabular column showing scientific name of 4 organisms like wheat, mango, housefly, and man. Don't forget, kindly read about the family, order, and class of all the 4 examples. Genus name, species name is must. Wheat means triticum, aestivum. Mango means Mangifera indica, even I wrote above. Housefly, Musca domestica. Man, Homo sapiens. But read what is the family name, order name, class name. While reading family name, you can find out always the family name will end with A, E as the phonics, as the spelling. And order name, we cannot give anything like this. Straight away we have to remember. For man, primata. For housefly, diptera. For mango, sapinidale. And for wheat, poales. Even scientific name of rice is Oryza sativa. Again, genus name, species name, 2 underline, capital letter, small letter. Oryza sativa. In fact, up to this only, up to this table, there is a table in book. No, I am talking about the table only. Up to this table, you revise. And those who are having old book, no need to learn the taxonomic aid part. Then the next lesson, biological classification. Biological classification. And this is also an easy mark scoring lesson. Here only learn about The father of biology. Aristotle, who lived in 384 to 322 BC. And he was the first man to give a proper scientific way of classifying. Scientific way of classification. He used the term herbs, shrubs and trees for plant. For animal, based on red blood and absence of red blood, he grouped animals into two categories. Then from here we learn about Linnaeus method of classification. Even in previous paper there was a question. What are all the different organisms kept together, kept apart, like that? All examples are given in this paragraph only. What is the year of Linnaeus means? It is 1758. Just have a read and memorize it. What are the drawbacks of two kingdom method of classification? Nothing but prokaryote, eukaryote and plants all kept together. Prokaryote includes bacteria and cyanobacteria. Eukaryotes including fungi, mosses means bryophyte, right? Ferns means pteridophyte, right? And gymnosperms, including the highermost plant, angiosperms, all kept together under a kingdom called Plantia. But this is wrong. So that's why we learn it under drawbacks. There was a question, no? Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra were placed under algae. This is also wrong. But immediately don't go and ask, sir, Chlamydomonas is given under plant only. Both given under algae only. But in its classification under them there is an error. That error is not fully explained. Then fungi are totally different, as fungi has a cell wall. The cell wall is made up of, this is very important, many different places will get this question, chitin. Whereas plant cell walls are made up of cellulose. Then how come a fungi and other plants can be kept together? Even these are also plant only. So that's why we learn it under drawbacks of Linnaeus. Then after learning about the drawbacks of Linnaeus, we talk about the latest classification given by R.H. Whitaker, 1969. Remember this year? Who given 5 kingdom system called Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantia and Animalia. Only prokaryote under Monera, all others are eukaryote. Under that, Protista is having single cell eukaryote, fungi have multi-cell eukaryote, plant also has multi-cell eukaryote, animal also has multi-cell eukaryote. Further, plants are covered with the cellulose-based cell wall. Fungi are covered with the chitinous cell wall. And the kingdom Protista became the common ancestor of all higher kingdom. Why we say like that? From Protista only fungi evolved, plants evolved, even animal also evolved. So Protista became common ancestor of all organisms. How or on the basis of what Whitaker has given the classification? Again, very important content. Based on cell structure, you might be having doubt. Sir, in textbook there is a tabular column. In tabular column also characters mentioned. Under the tabular column, a statement is there. In statement also, the characters are mentioned. Kindly learn the statement. Cell structure, thallus organization, nothing but body organization, mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction, and more importantly, phylogenetic analysis. Phylogenetic analysis or relationship. So the term phylogeny means study about evolution. This also came in paper. Many times I told. Again and again questions will come in different forms. They try to ask. But the term phylogeny means eukaryote. Sorry, phylogeny means evolution. Studying about evolutionary ancestors. Then go through the table given in the textbook. Later, this content, in this lesson, the content will start about each and every kingdom. The first kingdom is kingdom Monera. Bacteria are the sole member of kingdom Monera. Among bacteria, there are two kinds of bacteria are there. Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Archaebacteria is the one who can live in extreme habitat. Who can live in extreme habitat where no other organism can survive, but this bacteria can survive. How this bacteria got the property to survive in extreme habitat means their cell wall structure. They have a different kind of cell wall structure. The different cell wall structure only give them the property to study up to survive in extreme conditions or extreme environment. We can find bacteria, archaebacteria in high temperature region, high salty region, or even in marshy region. Bacteria found in high temperature region can be commonly called as thermoacidophils. From the lesson biotechnology, let us take an example for thermoacidophil. That is nothing but a Thermus aquaticus. And we make use of this organism to collect an important enzyme called TAG. T for Thermus, AQ for Aquaticus. TAG DNA polymerase, which is used in PCR. If this enzyme is not there, then no job in PCR. Then Bacteria who can live in high salty region are called as halophil. The term halo means salt, phils bacteria. Bacteria who can found in marshy area is called methanogen. About methanogen we learn in microbes in human welfare, which is used to produce methane gas. These bacteria are naturally found in gut of ruminant. Nothing but cows, buffaloes, ruminant, grazing organisms. And the methane is called as gobar gas, or one more term is there, no, biogas. This is first. Then about archaebacteria, remember, who can live in extreme environment. The different cell wall structure give them the property to live in extreme environment. And what are the types? Then about eubacteria, I'll write down again. Eubacteria can be classified into, broadly classified into two types, saying autotroph and heterotroph. But this autotroph can once again be classified into photosynthetic autotroph, nothing but who can do photosynthesis, and chemosynthetic autotroph, who depend upon chemical to make their energy. Example for photosynthetic autotroph is cyanobacteria, commonly called as blue-green algae, but it is a bacterium. And example for chemosynthetic bacteria, nitrosomonas or nitrococcus, who make use of chemicals like, very important term, many times this question came, nitrates, nitrites and ammonia. Remember these three chemical names. After showing these three chemical names, they might simply ask, take the odd one out. In fact, these all are inorganic substance. By making use of this inorganic substance, the breakdown reaction will occur, nothing but catabolism. Hope 2 days back I told, catabolism means it will release energy. ATP will be released. This energy, this chemosynthetic organisms will utilize. Whereas if we take heterotrophic organism, generally they are the most abundant bacteria. They help us in many ways. Majority of them are decomposers, so they help in decomposition. Even in the content called decomposition in ecosystem, in two places we learn about fungi and bacteria. My previous question paper had that question. And bacteria are used in making curd, lactobacilli. We learn in microbes welfare lesson. Bacteria are even used in making antibiotics, streptokinase. We are making life-saving drugs, but there is not an antibiotic, there is an enzyme, Like that, many examples are there. Then some bacteria are helping in nitrogen fixation in legume plant. Legume plant bacteria is rhizobium. This also we learned in microbes welfare lesson. And some of the bacteria are even causes disease. Definitely learn which bacteria cause disease. Diseases like, what is the book example here? Cholera, typhoid, tetanus, and citrus canker. You find out which bacterium cause all these diseases. Then prime important about bacteria is reproduction. Bacteria do all kind of reproduction. It do fission. In fact, this is the mainly bacteria reproduce only by fission. In case if the condition is unfavorable, then bacteria might produce spores, which can withstand the unfavorable condition. Once if condition became favorable, they can grow. And even bacteria has sexual reproduction. We learned in 2 lessons, sexual reproduction plants, sexual reproduction human being. Among the different kind of reproduction, sexual reproduction is very important for variation. Bacteria itself has sexual reproduction. But what kind means? It is a primitive method of DNA transfer. Very important. What are the different shapes of bacteria? Bacteria are either rod shape, spherical shape like a 3D ball, like a ball, or comma shape, or spiral shape. And if a bacterium is rod shape, what we call them? We call them as bacillus. If a bacteria is spherical in shape, then we call them as coccus. If bacterium is comma shape, we call them as Vibrium, the typhoid causing bacteria. There is a disease no on upstairs. Here a disease, there no typhoid. It is Vibrio cholerae. Then spiral shaped bacteria, spirillum. Then the smallest known living organism, which also comes under prokaryote, mycoplasma, the smallest known living organism, who does not have cell wall, but they have plasma membrane. They are the smallest known living organism. They are anaerobic. This is direct statement. In textbook it will be given, they can survive without oxygen. And many of the mycoplasma are pathogenic. Especially in both plants and animals. So in fact, I started from lesson living world and I went up to second lesson kingdom Monera. Now next content is about kingdom Protesta. But don't read along with this. Give a short break. We will take some other lesson or some other concept because it will get confused. But kingdom Protesta is also important, but don't revise along with this. Let us revise some other point. Maybe I'll talk about fungi. Fungi are cosmopolitan, that is, they found everywhere. The fungi also has various modes of reproduction. Now always when reproduction come, all type will come, saying asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, and vegetative reproduction. Vegetative and sexual. In asexual reproduction, always spore formation. The spores can be formed inside gonidae. In many papers we discuss, no? Gonidae are structure found in penicillium. It is a mode of asexual reproduction of penicillium. Or sporangiospores and zoospores. Whereas vegetative reproduction, this is very easy. Always fragmentation, fission, and budding. Even this can also form a question. Find the odd one out with respect to reproduction. Option A budding, option B fission, option C fragmentation, option C gonidea. Gonidea is asexual, so you take it out. In sexual reproduction, always gametes formation will be there, like a male gamete haploid, a female gamete haploid. And what is the mode of sexual reproduction fungi is, it has 3 steps. First step, plasmogamy. Second step, karyogamy. And third step, meiosis. A stage called dikaryon. A stage called dikaryon is found in ascomycetes and basidiomycetes. Now, how can we classify fungi? What is the basis of classification means? 3 bases. 3 bases of classification. Number 1, for fungi I am saying here, morphology of mycelium. Mycelium is nothing but body growth. Then mode of spore formation. And number 3, fruiting bodies. By studying about these three characters, morphology of mycelium, mode of spore formation and fruiting bodies, we classify fungi into 3+1 classes. Why I am saying 3+1 classes is, very first classes Phycomycetes, second class Ascomycetes, and the third class is Basidiomycetes. And I told 3+1, right? The fourth class is imperfect fungi, which is called as a Deuteromycetes. Here all the term mycetes is there. Mycology, study about fungi. Logy means study, myco means fungi. So based on mode of morphology of mycelium, mode of spore formation, fruiting bodies, we classify fungi into this 3+1 category. In that, the fourth category is called as imperfect fungi, because all fungi do both asexual and sexual reproduction. At least vegetative reproduction will be there, but some of the examples called Alternaria, Trichoderma, and Colitotrichum. These three book example only, they only do asexual mode of reproduction, and they are not showing their sexual mode of reproduction at all. Once if we happen to identify the sexual mode of reproduction, then we will place them either under Basidiomycetes or under Ascomycetes. In fact, I have not done much about fungi, but these itself is a very preliminary, simple questions. And what else we have to learn about fungi means, first thing, for Deuteromycetes I have told, no, it is imperfect fungi. They do only asexual mode of reproduction, and sexual mode of reproduction is not found. That is why they are called imperfect. Fungi means all two reproduction should be there. At least vegetative should be there. Always asexual to sexual to asexual, there will be some relationship. That's why that plasmogamy, karyogamy, dikaryon, zygotic meiosis will come. Here I'll put examples, and some examples are very important. For Ascomycetes, one example is there. We yesterday also saw, I guess, Neurospora, which is highly used in biochemical, genetic, and mutation sciences. Even the same Ascomycetes has an unicellular fungi. This also we know. It is a yeast called Saccharomyces cerevisiae. We learned this name from Microbes in Human Welfare. Neurospora, important example. unicellular fungi. Saccharomyces is also important. Even the example penicillium also comes under ascomycetes only. Full name is Penicillium notatum. This fungi gives us an antibiotic called penicillin, discovered by Alexander Fleming and Ernestine Howard Florey in their 1945 got Nobel for it. All the three got Nobel for it. The examples called morels, truffles, or edible fungi. And the fungi which we eat, nothing but mushroom, comes under Basidiomycetes. Its scientific name is Agaricus ostilago, called smut. Paper question. Puccinia. Rust fungi, especially wheat rust. Puccinia is called rust fungi. Ostilago is called a smut. Very important example. And I'll discuss about the body feature and reproduction of fungi maybe next session, because that itself forms a separate question. So at least today, for all the four fungi, Phyco, Asco, Basidio, Deutero, see the examples I have given only: Alternaria, Trichoderma, and Colletotrichum. For Deuteromycetes. And for Asco, I have given many examples: Neurospora, unicellular fungi Saccharomyces cerevisiae, antibiotic fungi Penicillium notatum, morels, truffles are edible, and you learn about examples of Phyco. And for Basidio I wrote some example, but try to read other examples. Body feature and reproduction pattern I'll do in next session. Then hope you all might have remember in this lesson the last part, which talks about I'm not going to explain now. I'll give time for you to read: virus, viroid, prion, and lichen. Kindly read all the examples, body feature of all these organisms. And next to this, I'll give very short information about the plant kingdom. First, different method of classification. Artificial method of classification. Even I told it is also called as a sexual method of classification given by Linnaeus. It has even some drawbacks. Natural system of classification. Given by two peoples, Bentham and Hooker. Phylogenetic classification. Then other methods of classification. In this other methods, we learn 4 methods. Number 1, numerical taxonomy. 3 methods only. Numerical taxonomy, which start counting numbers, making use of computers. Cytotaxonomy, which makes use of the kind of cell, kind of nucleus, the type of chromosome, then structure of chromosome, number of chromosome, I already number, no? Then behavior of chromosome. Based on this also we can classify. In case if any trouble in classification, to resolve the trouble or problems in classification, the third method called chemo taxonomy is used, which make use of the chemical molecule found in the organism. Based on that also we can able to classify plants, because we know well all plant has basic chemical called chlorophyll, but in chlorophyll as a chemical taxonomic method differences are there, that is being studied here. Then this plant kingdom is divided into 5 divisions. Algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm. Algae are haplontic, bryophyte, pteridophytes are haplo, diplontic, gymnosperm, angiosperms are diplontic. Nothing but in the case of algae, the entire plant body is made up of haploid cells. The life itself in the form of haploid only. Such a body, such a plant are called as gametophyte, whereas in bryophytes the primary body is haploid, the secondary body so lower is primary body, upper is secondary body. Primary body is haploid, secondary body all cells are diploid. If you are putting cells here, all are diploid cell. So once again, haploid body is called gametophyte, whereas diploid body is called sporophyte. Now one more difference here. In the case of a bryophyte, The primary body is haploid, secondary body is diploid, whereas in the case of pteridophyte, the primary body is diploid, the secondary body is haploid, whereas in the case of gymnosperm, angiosperm, the entire body is diploid. That's why we call them as diplontic. Hope you can recall. We might have discussed this content earlier also. But what else to keep in mind? Regarding algae. First, regarding algae, what are the benefits of algae? Six benefits are there. Try to remember everything here, because questions very often in the form of statement based, right wrong statements, incorrect statements, question will come. So when I say benefits, the very first benefits, they fix half of carbon dioxide through photosynthesis. Second benefit, they are the primary producers in aquatic ecosystem. Third, many marine algae, 70 species, are edible. Then the algae called Giladium and Gracilaria produces agar, which is used in making ice creams, jellies, and even for electrophoretic purpose, for growth medium for plants, cells, growth medium for cells. In the field of biotechnology, it is used. And some algae has hydrocolloids, nothing but water holding substances. In the case of brown algae, algin is present, remember Ba. In the case of red algae, carrageen is present. They are the water holding substances. Then the last benefit of algae is algae are protein rich. Especially algae like chlorella, spirulina, which is used by space travelers. Very important and easy. And different types of algae are green algae, brown algae, and red algae. Nothing but Chlorophyceae phycology. Study about algae. Logy means study, phyco means algae. Brown algae are called Phaeophyceae. And red algae are called Rhodophyceae. Again, here also we saw a question. All algae have chlorophyll A, and green has chlorophyll B. Apart from chlorophyll A, brown has chlorophyll C, and red has chlorophyll D. So A is common to all. B, C, D is a particular kind of algae. Sorry, pigment in algae. Then brown algae has fucoxanthin, and red algae has R phycoerythrin as their pigment. And all algae has all mode of reproduction. Asexual, vegetative, and sexual. Vegetative means fragmentation. Asexual means spore formation, like zoospore is more common. Whereas sexual reproduction means gamete formation. In gamete formation is of three types: isogamous, anisogamous, and oogamous. So now this is a general account of reproduction in algae. If I take this general account, I can once again tell all general account found in green algae as it is, all general account even found in brown algae as it is. But when it comes to red algae, in sexual reproduction, the oogamous type alone found. That we have to remember. And in the case of brown algae, it is called Phaeophyceae, right? Pheo starts from letter P, right? Remember, in asexual reproduction, a pear-shaped gamete. In sexual reproduction, pyriform, nothing but that is also pear-shaped. Pyriform, pear-shaped gametes. So brown algae, Phaeophyceae, pear-shaped, pyrenoid, pear-shaped. Even in brown algae also there is a term that is pyrenoid. That is a different term. That is not for reproduction. Pyrenoids are protein rich material besides starch, apart from starch. So remember the reproduction pattern. Who has all mode of reproduction, and oogamous is found only in Rhodophyceae red algae. Then if I take other divisions, so far 1 hour 5 minutes over. See, in the same speed, in the same stretch, if you people also sit and learn, you can also cover all these things. I generally say, leave first and second unit, do other. First and second is easy only. Only thing we have to keep in mind. Bryophytes, amphibians of plant kingdom. They does not have true root, stem and leaf, but they have leaf-like, stem-like, root-like structures. In sexual reproduction, they also form zygote, but zygote do not undergo meiosis immediately. Why we say or stress this line means, before bryophyte, before plant, there is fungi. In fungi, even I wrote no, meiosis, that is zygotic meiosis will occur immediately. So when the organism from fungi to plant to algae to bryophytes evolved, the zygotes are not undergoing meiosis immediately. That shows plants or these organisms are trying to evolve into a diploid organism. But unfortunately, bryophyte primary body is haploid, secondary body only diploid. Bryophyte, right? That's also the important point. I already told it. Primary body is haploid, whereas secondary body is diploid. These bryophytes are broadly classified into two types: liverwort and mosses. In growth stage of mosses, the very first stage is protonema, then second stage is leafy stage. The spirally arranged leaf-like structures will come. From the spirally arranged leaf-like structure, the secondary body will grow. The secondary body is nothing but a sporophyte, and all these are all gametophyte. Whereas in liverwort, remember only the reproduction pattern: vegetative, asexual and sexual. Vegetative by fragmentation, asexual by liverwort, right? There's a technical term, no? Gemme cups. This example can come only for liverwort. Example for liverwort here is Marchantia. And sexual reproduction by gamete formation. Anthridiophore and archegoniophore. Only these two terms you have to remember: anthridiophore and archegoniophore. In the textbook, from the picture you can find this. Whereas next to bryophyte, if I take the next division, pteridophyte, we have to remember they have true stem, root and leaf, evolutionarily. Three facts we have to remember. One is they are the first one to develop this true root, stem and leaf. They are the first one to develop vascular system called xylem and phloem, and they are the first one to develop seed habit. So possessing true stem and root, leaf, vascular tissues and seed habit. Primary body is haploid, nothing but gametophyte. Secondary body is, sorry, I made a mistake. Primary body is diploid, that is sporophyte, and secondary body is haploid, that is gametophyte. Classification with example. Pteridophytes classified into 4 classes. This itself form a question, whether 4 class or 4 family or 4 orders, like that. First one, Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida, and fourth one, Theropsida. An example for all this: Psilopsida, Xylotum, P silence here, Lycopsida, Lycopodium, and Selaginella, Sphenopsida, Equisetum, which is called horsetail. Then Theropsida, Pteris, Dryopteris, and Adiantum. Last NEET this question came. Just examples, classes, we have to match and give the term. In bryophyte, I wrote general character, right? Here I'll add one more point, very important point. One of the example called sphagnum, which is a moss which provide peat, and it is used as a fuel. As a firewood it is used. Sphagnum is a moss variety which has peat, nothing but a fuel. There's a unique content. See, such kind of unique content, unique statements are very favorite for this competitive examinations. So even I was saying about liver rot and mosses, right? Asexual reproduction, sexual. In that, you see, in asexual there is a technical term, gemme cup, found in Marchantia. These are all repeated for many years. In different form the question will be asked, but content is same. And pteridophyte, I have explained only about the evolutionary character. Where they grow, what is their favorite habitat. You kindly read from book and fill it here. Regarding gymnosperm, the examples of gymnosperms are cycas, pinus, then cedrus, then ginkgo. These are all very common examples. Why I wrote cycas, pinus separately? To learn about further. Cycas plants are dioecious or dioece. Pinus is bisexual. Cycas plants are unbranched plants, whereas pinus plants are branched plants. Cycas has a special root called coralloid root. Whereas pinus has a special structure called mycorrhiza in their root. In coralloid root, the cyanobacteria can settle, which helps in nitrogen fixation for this plant. Whereas mycorrhiza means, which is a fungi, microsulfurlescent. Fungi belong to genus Glomus. The term gymnosperm means naked seeded plant. Naked seeded plant. Their mode of pollination is only air. In the case of example like Pinus and cedrus. The leaf of the plant is needle-like. To reduce the surface area, they became needle-like. They have a thick cuticle. They have shrunken stomatas, nothing but reduced stomatas. Shrunken stomata, which helps to reduce water loss. Helps to reduce water loss. So regarding Pinus, its leaf character is very important. World tallest plant, sequoia, comes under gymnosperm only, which is also called as the giant redwood tree. Giant redwood tree. Whereas in the next kingdom called, division called angiosperms, the smallest plant, Wolffia, is there. Wolffia is smallest flowering plant. And tallest flowering plant is eucalyptus. Angiosperms means flowering plants. And other content you can recall from sexual reproduction in flowering plant. You can able to answer, don't worry. From this lesson you no need to learn. Only these examples will help you. That's all. Then few lines about the animal kingdom. What is the basis of classification of entire animal kingdom? 6 bases are there. First one, level of organization. Second one, dermal layer. Third one, coelom, nothing but body cavity. Fourth one, symmetry. Fifth one, metamerism, nothing but body segmentation. Then sixth one, notochord. By using these 6 bases only, we classify entire animal kingdom. Now let me take only the coelom part. Coelom is of 3 types, called acoelom, acoelomate, pseudo coelomate, and coelomate. Nothing but eucoelomate, but coelomate itself is enough. Example phylum for pseudocoelomate is Ascalminthus, and above that water example all for acoelomate, below that water example all for coelomate. To say very easily, Porifera to Platyhelminthes and for coelomate Annelida to Cardates. Similarly also we can classify further that you people read metamerism, notochord, level of organization, all are easy only. Just read what is the phylum example and try to understand what is the animal example for that particular phylum. Without knowing example, we cannot answer these kind of questions. So I am stopping here.